"You're in a trap, don't move," the waitress slipped a note to the billionaire. The crystal stemware trembled as Robert's hand reached for his water glass. 42 years of building an empire, yet tonight something felt different about this quiet corner booth at Romano's. The mahogany walls that usually felt warm now seemed to press closer, and the soft piano music couldn't mask the tension crackling through the air like electricity before a storm. He'd chosen this restaurant for its discretion, a place where powerful men could conduct business without prying eyes. But as the young waitress approached his table, her steps careful and measured, Robert noticed her dark eyes weren't focused on his menu or wine selection. They kept darting toward the entrance, then back to the two men in expensive suits who'd entered shortly after him. Her face was pale, almost frightened, as she set down his appetizer with hands that shook just slightly. When she leaned forward to refill his water, she pressed something small and urgent against his palm. A folded napkin. "Where are you watching from tonight?" Robert Hamilton had built his fortune on reading people, on sensing when something wasn't quite right in a boardroom or negotiation. That same instinct now screamed warnings as he carefully unfolded the napkin beneath the table. The handwriting was hurried but clear. "You're in a trap, don't move. I'm Elena. Trust me." His pulse quickened, but years of high-stakes business had taught him to control his reactions. He glanced up at the waitress, Elena, who was now taking orders from an elderly couple 2 tables away, her professional smile masking whatever fear he'd glimpsed moments before. The 2 men who'd entered after him sat at the bar, nursing whiskeys and occasionally checking their phones. They looked like any other successful businessmen unwinding after a long day, but Elena's warning changed everything. Robert had received death threats before. It came with the territory of being worth $9 billion, but he'd never expected danger in a place like Romano's, where the owner knew him by name, and the staff treated him like family. Elena returned to his table, her voice steady as she asked about his meal. "Everything tastes all right, Mr. Hamilton?" But her eyes told a different story. She placed his entree down with deliberate care, then whispered so quietly he almost missed it. "My manager's in on it. They've been planning this for weeks. There's a car waiting in the alley." The words hit him like ice water. His security team was outside, but they wouldn't be expecting an inside job. Robert had survived hostile takeovers, boardroom coups, and family betrayals that made headlines. But this young woman, this stranger, was risking her own safety to warn him. Why? He studied her face as she moved efficiently around his table, refilling glasses and adjusting silverware with practiced grace. Elena couldn't be more than 35, with calloused hands that spoke of hard work and tired eyes that suggested she'd seen more than her share of trouble. Yet here she was, choosing to protect him when she could have simply looked the other way. The men at the bar stood up, one heading toward the restroom while the other approached the host station. Elena caught the movement, and her face tightened. She scribbled something quickly on her order pad and set it beside his plate before hurrying toward the kitchen. The note read, "Back exit is clear. Wait for my signal." Robert's mind raced through possibilities as he forced himself to cut another piece of salmon, maintaining the appearance of a relaxed diner. Through the kitchen's swinging doors, he could see Elena speaking urgently with someone. A cook, perhaps, or another server. The man from the bar had cornered the host near the entrance, their conversation appearing casual but their body language suggesting otherwise. Robert's security training kicked in as he catalogued exits, potential weapons, and the positions of innocent bystanders who could be hurt if this situation exploded. Elena emerged from the kitchen carrying a dessert tray, but her path took her past his table, where she paused to straighten his napkin. "They drugged your wine," she breathed, barely moving her lips. "I switched it with grape juice when you weren't looking." The revelation sent a chill through him. He'd barely touched the wine, trusting Romano's sommelier's selection as he always did. How long had they been planning this? How deep did the conspiracy go? His phone buzzed with a text from his head of security, "All quiet outside. Enjoy dinner." Robert wanted to laugh at the bitter irony. His $1 million security team was useless while a restaurant waitress had potentially saved his life. Elena set a small bowl of tiramisu in front of him, and he noticed her hands were steadier now, as if helping him had given her purpose and courage. "Why?" he asked quietly when she leaned down to remove his empty plate. For just a moment, her professional mask slipped, revealing something raw and honest. "Because everyone deserves to go home safe," she said simply. "No matter how much money they have." The words carried weight beyond their simplicity, the wisdom of someone who'd learned that kindness wasn't about what you could afford to give, but what you couldn't afford to. If this moment touched your heart, please give the video a thumbs up. The man who'd been at the bar reappeared, now standing near the kitchen entrance and checking his watch. Elena noticed too, and her jaw tightened with determination. She picked up the dessert menu and pointed to it as if recommending something, but her words were urgent. "When I drop this tray, run for the back door. Don't look back." Robert nodded almost imperceptibly, every muscle coiled and ready. 30 feet to safety, with only Elena's courage standing between him and whatever trap awaited. The tray trembled in her hands as footsteps approached from behind. The crash of shattering plates erupted through the restaurant like thunder. Elena had accidentally collided with a busboy near the kitchen, sending desserts and china flying across the tile floor. In the chaos of servers rushing to clean the mess and diners craning to see what happened, Robert slipped from his booth and moved swiftly toward the back hallway. His heart hammered against his ribs as he heard shouting behind him, the men realizing their target was escaping. The alley door burst open under his weight, and cool night air hit his face like salvation. But freedom lasted only seconds before he heard Elena scream from inside. Robert's feet stopped moving. Every survival instinct told him to keep running, to let his security team handle whatever was happening. But the sound of that scream, filled with pain and terror, rooted him to the spot. She'd saved him. This stranger had risked everything to warn someone she barely knew, and now she was paying the price for her kindness. Robert thought of his own daughter, barely older than Elena, and how he'd want someone to help her if she were in danger. The choice crystallized with startling clarity. He pulled out his phone and speed-dialed his security chief. Code red at Romano's. "Send everyone. Now." Then he did something that would have horrified his bodyguards. He went back inside. The restaurant had erupted into controlled chaos. Customers were being herded toward the front exit while staff huddled near the kitchen. Robert could see Elena on the floor beside the overturned dessert cart, one of the men standing over her while the other argued with the manager. Her uniform was torn, and there was blood on her lip, but her eyes blazed with defiant fury rather than fear. "Let her go," Robert called out, stepping into the dining room with his hands visible. "I'm here. She's not part of this." The man holding Elena looked up with surprise that quickly turned to satisfaction. "Mr. Hamilton, how thoughtful of you to return." His voice carried a slight accent, Eastern European, maybe Russian. "Your waitress here has been very unhelpful. Have you ever faced something like this? Let us know in the comments." Elena caught his eye and shook her head desperately, trying to warn him away even as blood trickled from the corner of her mouth. In that moment, Robert understood something profound about courage.